Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are currently working on the Where's Kevin contract, and after checking into it, it seems like we have just enough fuel here to pull this off. Now these numbers here are not very accurate, we should not trust this, but we do have just enough fuel to do it. So where's the KSC right now? We're going to want to land near the KSC, but keep in mind our steering capacity through the atmosphere with this thing is very, very minimal. As long as we're within like 10 kilometers, I'll be happy. So we're going to look to come in somewhere around here. We're going to do a retrograde burn, although we could, I suppose, fix our inclination first. How much dV would that be? We currently have an inclination of 0.2 degrees. So if we fixed this a little bit, we need to go something like... Yeah, that timing wouldn't be correct. We just have to find the right timing. 0.5 if it was out over here? Okay. Ooh, okay. Timing is very awkward here, for sure. So let's, like, set this guy as our target. I think that's in a quite equatorial orbit, right? Not really, actually. You know what? Let's forget about this. We can probably just come in close enough by dead reckoning. It should be fine. So we're going to... We're going to need to change this, of course. But sometime around here... we're going to want a retrograde burn. We actually have enough fuel here, only just, to nearly kill our speed, like this. So we're going to warp to around here, and we're going to see where exactly the KSC is once we get there. And then we'll fine-tune this in a bit. So yeah, we're going to have to move it this way for sure. That's deeply unsurprising. And we're going to continue bringing it over here a bit, and we'll warp to about here. Yeah, we'll need to bring it out just a smidge more, I think. Something along the lines of this, but mostly we're going to be relying on the KER bullseye. And at this height, that's not very accurate. So we'll see how that ends up going. Let's warp on forward a bit, but we need to get turned around into the retrograde marker. That's a minute away. Exciting. We're going to need to stow our solar panels, of course, and we can do that. There we go. I just want to check in on these guys and make sure that they are all correctly set. If I can actually click on them, that would be nice. Apparently I can't. Beautiful. So we can't click on those. Okay. We'll have to wait until we are in position for this burn. Once the turn is over, that should be better. Okay, so that chute is fine. No problems there. Boy, it really doesn't want me to... Okay, this one definitely needs to be brought up. Cool. That one looks good, and this one needs to be brought up as well. Okay, so our burn is starting in about 5 seconds here. We're going to be moving our way up, but we're going to burn now. And we're going to target here. Excellent. And now we're just going to decelerate, and we're going to come back as best as we can. We've got a fair amount of time before we hit the atmosphere here, of course. We targeted a little higher up than we needed to be, strictly speaking. But we're just going to decelerate here by a pretty hefty amount. We are well below, at this point, the orbital velocity. And continuing to decelerate. Okay, I'm keeping an eye on our fuel gauge here. But this should be... it's going to be close, no doubt about it. It should be okay-ish. And... cutting throttle. Okay. Beautiful. We're going to go into surface mode. And of course, this is going to tip us forward, which is fully expected. We get rid of this maneuver node that is irrelevant at this point, and I'm going to physics warp us forward as we head down towards the atmosphere and get into position here. We can see the KSC here. We're not going to land directly on it, and we're not even really trying to land directly on it. What is sticking out here? A strut. What is that connected to? I don't know. Regardless, it's not very relevant. We're going to keep an eye on this countdown here. And all we need to do right now is keep our speed low enough without burning out quite all of our fuel. We need to keep our speed low enough that we can deploy our drogue chutes. So it looks like we're coming in reasonably here. The only question now is, when we land, do we blow anything up? And do we tip over? That would be problematic if we did either of those things. So we're coming back approximately to the KSC here. We're definitely going to be within 10 kilometers, I think. Now, we don't have a lot of drag here. This is going to be a primarily propulsive slowdown. I'm going to throttle up when this is at 3 seconds. Now. Okay, we're slowing down. And now we need to slow down enough that we don't quite burn out our fuel, but that our drogue chutes can be deployed. Beautiful. Drogue chutes. Drogue chutes. Drogue chutes. Drogue chutes. Okay, there they go. Finally. Okay. So they slow us down by a good amount. Mains should be soon. Mains out. Burning. Okay. Slowing down. Oh, we're out. Okay. Well, hopefully these don't explode on impact. We're going at 17 meters per second. How does that go? Actually, they just bounced. We're fine. We do not tip over. Wonderful. Okay. I'm going to quick save here in case we have any physics cracking from here. What is our distance? 3.8 kilometers to Madbro. I'm going to call that good enough considering we did not plan to fly this thing through the atmosphere, right? So we need to, at this point, create a vehicle that will bring Madbro over, allow him to get on our ladders, which are on this side, which is actually a fairly convenient side, and we need to refuel this thing and re-lift it off. So we're going to need enough fuel. Actually, we could take multiple trips if we really, really wanted to. That's a theoretical possibility. We're completely burned out of fuel right now. We need to repack our parachutes, which I'm going to have Bill hop out and do right now. So Bill is going to repack all of these chutes. Beautiful. I can't believe Madbro forgot his handkerchief. That's just absolutely insane. We're going to grab all of our data here that we can. Not that it's necessarily all that great, but when else are we going to grab this data, right? So we'll grab our material study, and at this point, we need to not recover the vessel. We need to head to the Space Center. We cannot recover the vessel at this point, because that would put it into a new flight, which is at least how I'm reading in the same flight. That has to be the way to read that, right? Yeah, that has to be. So at this point, we need to head back to the Space Center and design ourselves a fuel tanker that can roll the 3.8 kilometers and that can pick up Madbro and can carry enough fuel to refuel this monstrosity. How much fuel do we need out of that? Well, I'm guessing at least 8 tanks, eight big orange tanks, at least. So we're going to put in a probodobodyne hex, probably, or at least some sort of a probodobodyne here. And this will be fully recovered, for the record. So that should not be any real problem. Yeah, we'll put in a probodobodyne hex. And, whoa, why is this so laggy? Whoa. Okay, I don't know why this is so laggy. I'm going to exit here. And maybe we need a game restart? I don't know. Let's see if it's still laggy at the KSC. I noticed it was slightly laggy when we had landed. Maybe a game restart is necessary here. We'll see. If it's still laggy at the KSC, then I'll restart the game. Oh no, this is smooth. Okay. So we'll try hopping back into the VAB and see if it's laggy again. No? Seems to be fine. Okay, whatever. So we've got our probodobodyne hex here. And that's going to be what we're going to pilot this thing with. And then we're going to take some big orange tanks. These are not orange. We're going to make them orange. And we're going to do something like this. This is enough to refuel the inner part of the first stage. So I think that we're going to need at least 6 of these. 6 of these pairs. So 12 big orange tanks, in theory. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply put on some couplers here. We're going to put a coupler here, a coupler here, and we're going to put in a big orange tank here on each of these. So we're going to grab a Jumbo 64, rotate it like so. Oh, that's really awkward the way it wants to put that on. That's better. Cool. So we rotate it like so, and that'll do. And these can honestly be connected together here. We don't need these radial decouplers. We can just strut it. So we can do something like this. And then I'm just as a safety, I'm going to do one more of these up here. Yeah, we'll not do it like that. Thank you very much. This is in symmetry mode. I do not want it to be in symmetry mode. I just want to do one up top. Will this be enough fuel? I hope so. If we wanted to be absolutely sure, we could put in another set of these branching off of here. I mean, that wouldn't take very much to do. We'd just duplicate what we already have in symmetry mode, right? That's a theoretical possibility. No, I wanted to move this guy. Approximately like this. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Let's overkill this. Everything here is going to be recovered. So we're not going to have any major expenditure from this, right? So we want to put this into symmetry mode, and we'll just attach it like that. And that will be the fuel that we'll bring out to this thing. Now, this needs to be strutted together something fierce. So we're going to strut these guys together. We're going to strut these guys together. Beautiful. We're going to strut these guys together. Oh, that's really awkward, the way that this strut went. Okay, I'm going to turn off symmetry. We're going to strut these together. We're going to strut these together. And I'm also going to strut these. This is a lot of weight, so we're going to do it on this side as well. We're going to strut this. We're going to strut this. We're going to strut this. And this is almost certainly overkill in fuel, but that's good. That's what I want. I want to make sure that we don't have to take a second trip. I don't want to duplicate that. Thank you very much. And we will bring this on over like so. So those are all strutted together. I also want to do this. I want to do this. Oops. Hang on. This one didn't go. There we go. And I want to do this as well. Will that be enough to hold them in place? I hope so. I do hope so. Now, this one is not strutted to these two. We'll see if this is good enough. We do need some equipment on this. So, first off, we need wheels. That's going to be pretty important. So I'm going to toss on modular girder segments just straight on the bottom. Like so. Getting us some distance there. That'll do. And from there, we will think about wheels. So wheels are going to be in here, of course. We need the largest wheels that we can get, which is these guys. They are teeny tiny. Okay. We're going to put 2 of each here. That's going to be really awkward. I don't know if that's going to do the trick. And I want to move them down here. I mean, we don't have to land on these, right? But the question is, can they propel this much mass? That's going to be an interesting question to answer. We're going to need a way for Mad Bro to get up on top of this thing. So I want to put in a ladder on here, and an extendable ladder, I think, should be enough here, in theory. So we put an extendable ladder, like, over here should be okay. And then an extendable ladder here. That was not what I wanted to do. Remove that. And then we can duplicate this and put it, like, down here. Like that. Okay. So that should be enough for him to get up on top. which hopefully would be enough for him to be able to get where he needs to go. So next we need to put in our claw. I want to put in a robotic arm here, just in case we want to extend this thing. We're going to put a 3p6, but I'm going to set it back a little bit here. So we're going to put in a modular girder segment somewhere around here, and I want this to be set back like so. Maybe a little further back than this. Somewhere like that. That looks good. And then we would grab our coupling. We would grab our advanced grabbing unit and rotate it correctly. And it would go on something like this. Now we do need some form of power generation on this monstrosity. And we're going to... That did not actually attach to anything. Why did it go there? Bizarre. I have no idea why it decided to go there. Sure. We're going to put in a 3p2 here. And then we're going to put one here. And then we're going to put one here. And hopefully that'll be enough power generation to power these wheels. It probably will be. Is it daytime? And this is going to be the ridicufueler. I needed a C and a U there. The ridicufueler. Wow, I cannot speak. Ridicufueler. That's a little hard to say. Ridicufueler. Definitely hard to say. I want to turn off the steering in the back here. There we go. And we'll see what our steering is like. And let's put this thing out on the pad and see if we can propel it with these wheels. It's a lot. We may need more of the wheels. And I have no idea if it's daytime or not. I think it's night. I'm pretty sure it's night. So we may want to warp until morning. This is going to be up on the launch pad. Okay, so that's exciting. We definitely destroyed those wheels. Okay, so we'll revert that back to the VAB. It's all about the matter of weight, right? That's the main problem here. But the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to continue to duplicate these wheels. I'm going to put a pair here and a pair here. And we'll see if that does the trick. What do we got? Hopefully. And then Mad Bro, of course, will climb up on top of this, and then we'll head on over. The heading on over is going to be interesting, for sure. And getting Mad Bro aboard. That's going to be very interesting. Okay, this time we blew up all of the wheels. This is a lot of weight, to be clear. I'm not surprised about this. We just need to get it to the point where the wheels don't immediately fail. So we'll head back to the VAB. Actually, one thing we may want to do is check, because I think we have some spare science. We may want to check to see if we have any bigger wheels available. The size of wheel that we're trying to use here is ridiculous. We shouldn't use this size of wheel. So let's check our R&D here and see if we can get any bigger, better wheels. So we're going to hop into R&D. What do we got here? Field science. Yeah, that gives us better rover wheels, for sure. Let's see here. Do these have any sort of like a weight tolerance? I mean, there's a stress tolerance of 560. That might be better. I mean, we should certainly grab this, and we'll head over into the VAB again. Let's check our stress tolerance differential. Our stress tolerance for these guys... Oh, and this is a little bit skewed here. We'll definitely want to fix that. Our stress tolerance for these guys, which is the S2, is 315, which is actually higher than this stress tolerance here. But these are much, much larger wheels. And I think, yeah, 560. So we probably want to be going with these Rove Max Mark 1s. They appear to be upside down. Oh, okay. They are mounted backwards. Like that. is the way we'd want them. Okay, that's definitely bigger wheels. That will go much better. They're probably inverted from each other in awkward ways, if I had to guess. But we'll get all of these done the same on the same side, and then we'll take a look at the actual status of them. Okay. So something along the lines of that-ish. I want to snap these into place up here. There we go. That looks a little bit better. So, I mean, these wheels are definitely skewed. We should not have them be that way. Straighten those out. Otherwise, that's probably better. I wonder if they'll withstand the stress of this much weight. At least we know that the struts are holding and the tanks aren't just wiggling around. That's a good sign. No doubt about that. What do we have for wheel stress here? Do they instantly blow up? Hey, our wheels survived. Excellent. So now the question is, if we back up, does it go straight? Or does it try to turn? They're definitely fighting each other, right? Okay, let's invert the motor here. Oh, we ran out of power. Yeah, that's unsurprising. We're just going down the ramp at this point, and I think that's okay. We can turn on... Actually, we can't turn on the brake because we don't have any power. We can actually turn on time warp and warp till morning, and I think that's a good idea. Let's get some power going here. Sunrise is coming. And there we go. Now we've got power. Beautiful. So now that we have power, the question is, what happens if we reverse all of these guys? Okay, we eat through our electric charge super quickly. So I think that we do need to work on that electric charge situation. That's very clear. So, step one. I'm going to add in some batteries on the back here so that we have a little bit more storage to work with. Unfortunately, this is the biggest size of battery we have right now. I'm going to add 2 stacks of them here. Weight is irrelevant at this point, and so is cost, to be honest. So that's fine. I'm also going to put on a couple of extra photovoltaic panels. We'll put on some down here as well, because we burn through the electricity very quickly. And that's not surprising, given our number of wheels, but it's slightly saddening. Okay, so we'll do something along the lines of this. I suppose we should have some back here as well. They're not necessarily going to be efficient back here, depending on the time of day. Some of these are going to be blocked, and some of the side ones will too at certain times of day. Undo that. Okay. So we'll do something kind of like this. That will give us some additional power. I don't like the fact that it put some down there. Get rid of those, thanks. Okay. So that will have better power generation and far better power storage. Let's see how that goes out on the pad. We're going to be back into nighttime, I believe. And there's no warp until morning button here, I don't think. We'd have to go back to the Space Center for that. That's fine. I want to see just how much power draw we have. That's going to be interesting. So that being at night means that we'll be able to do that. Okay, what do we have for power draw here? And yeah, we can see we have a lot more fuel, or a lot more power. About 30? Okay, noted. So some of these are almost certainly inverted, right? So I want to get these flipped around. Does that propel us correctly? The answer is no. Okay. Which direction are they going? We need to figure this out. So we're going to revert this back to the VAB. We're going to put this on stands for the moment, and we'll revert that shortly. But we need to know which direction each wheel is spinning. If we have a larger problem, then we'll have to do something about that. So we'll do something along the lines of this. That'll put it up on stands so that in theory we can see which way each wheel is turning. And hopefully that will allow us to troubleshoot this and get this thing moving. That's what we need right now, is to get this thing moving and moved over towards the vehicle that needs refueling. So that'll be great. Let's see what we've got here. Come on, wheels. Tell me which direction you're spinning. These are going backwards. These are also going backwards. Yeah, they're spinning the same direction. They just weren't moving us. Okay, that's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. So I'm guessing that means that we just have so much momentum. I mean, this has a crazy amount of weight to it, right? Oh, apparently we didn't put a stand here. That's fine. It didn't matter. So we are going to remove these. And if that's the case, we know now that all of these need to be reversed. But otherwise, they're good. There we go. So now the question is, if we turn up the traction control, will that help or hurt? I don't know, actually. Adding in more wheels is another option if we're just struggling to overcome the inertia, which, given our sheer amount of weight, is a distinct possibility. But all we need to do is drive this thing 3.8 kilometers with a Kerbal on top. I might want to put a Kerbal seat up there, now that I think about it. It is working. It's just a huge amount of inertia. Okay, we can back up down the ramp here. And we are burning through our electric charge. That is fully expected. I want to back up down the ramp, and the next question is, as we're going down this, I'm not putting any additional thrust into this. The question is, as we do this, we get a lot of speed built up, right? What do our brakes do? Literally nothing on that level of incline. Okay, that's exciting. That's very exciting. Okay. We can turn. We can turn quite well, actually. But these brakes are really struggling here. Good to know. It's largely flat out to where we need to go, though, which I think is out over here? It should be out over there, yeah. Oh, actually, I saw it here, I think. Yeah, right there. We do have to go over that hill. That's going to be interesting. Or do we? Maybe it's just not loaded in. Okay, we are really... I'm trying to go the opposite direction here. We are slowing down. I put on the brakes action group. I think we probably need to turn up our brakes. Oh, yeah, that does the trick. Turn up those brakes. Now we can actually start to drive this thing a bit. I'm going to turn up our traction control just to see what ends up happening with that. The X-Science window is in the middle of everything here. So I'm going to turn up that traction control. We'll see what we get out of that. I can't remember what that actually ends up doing. This wheel is broken, I think, isn't it? It is. We can always repair it. Okay. So now that we know that this is working, I'm going to revert this one last time, and we're going to revert to launch. This time we're going to turn up the brakes. Oh, no, we need to go back to the VAB one more time. Right, because I wanted to put in the external seat. I wanted to put in that external seat, and that's definitely something that we're going to do. So as soon as this loads back in, We're going to go back to the VAB. We're going to turn... I'm going to leave the traction control where it's at, I think. If we feel like we need to turn it up, we can. But for now, I think we're just going to turn the brakes up. Turning the brakes up definitely does the trick. So we do this on all of them. Wonderful. There we go. We're going to leave the traction control for now. I want to put an external command seat. Like, back here, I think. Something like that. So the Kerbal can actually sit down in it. Cool. And now we're ready to go refuel that thing. I think. I hope. I hope. That'll be a next episode sort of thing, though. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadow Wolf, Mlohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kintogan, Andy Magar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.